Has Japan gone too far with fishing lure innovation? I ask because what the heck is this? Why did they make it? Will it work? And what's going on here? What's going on? Why is this an actual lure that's being made and sold on the market? In today's video, we're gonna be answering all of that and more as we rig this up. I'm gonna give you my first impressions. We're gonna try to catch a few bass on this thing and just kind of discuss why this is even a thing. And I don't know if you should buy some of these, I guess, too, because Japan is kind of one of the leaders in fishing lure innovations. And I've never seen anything like this in my entire life. So we're gonna get this rigged up. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to me. Trying to drop a lot more fun videos on the channel like this one, but let's see what these things are all about. We are gonna be getting our first impressions of this bait right here. I have not pulled it out of the package quite yet, and I don't know what to think of this. I mean, like, look at this thing. What is going on here? Why is this a bait? I just don't get it, dude. It's legitimately laughable. First impressions though, I think what they're trying to go for here is they're trying to go for a craw imitator. These are supposed to be the claws of that craw, and just a kind of different look, a different approach to a crawfish lure traditionally. I will say they're very heavy compared to the rest of the bait, so they kind of tip over on their side. I'm not sure how that's going to affect the action out there on the water. It feels like it's gonna kind of just sit in the water really weird, but I've seen people catch fish on these. The very first thought that I had when I saw these is I need to make a video on that. Probably not your guys' first thought, but you're probably thinking why did they make these, and that was my second thought for sure. So we're gonna get this rigged up on a Texas rig. I think that's gonna be our go-to. We might put it on a jig at some point today just to kind of see what that looks like as a trailer, but let's rig this up and try to catch a bass on it, I guess. Pretty standard setup that we're gonna be throwing on here today, other than the soft plastic bait that we're gonna be using, but we have a 4/0 EWG hook, a 3/16 ounce bullet weight, 17-pound fluorocarbon line. I should also mention, this is the AK Punch. It is from Japan. I forget what site I ordered on, but I think it was about 12 or 13 bucks for a pack of 5 of these baits. So I don't know how well they're gonna stand up. They are pretty soft, pretty supple in action, as you guys can see right there. I don't know if we're gonna get like one bass and these things are gonna be completely destroyed, or if we're gonna be able to get a few fish out of these things. But let's put this on that EWG hook, 3.3-inch bait, so kind of similar to, you know, most craw baits that are in that 3 to 4-inch range. I throw probably a chigger craw more than anything else, the 4-inch version, but I think that this 4/0, yeah, should line up very nicely on there, right beneath those dongles. And we're just gonna kind of, you know, text pose that hook, put it right back inside of there, and we've got ourselves a pretty hopefully a delicious looking bait. Hopefully bass want to eat this thing, you know. Oh, and actually with that hook actually on there, these do not flop quite as much. That might be perfect. I was kind of afraid because they were very dangly, but I am a little bit worried about the durability of this bait. It is very soft. We'll see how this thing looks in the water. It's very heavy. Kind of looks bad, I will say. Kind of looks bad. First impressions, dipping it off the side of the boat. But my opinion does not matter as much as the fish's opinion does. Let's see what this thing is really made of. We're gonna be flipping this around the channel, looking for some largemouth and smallmouth bass today. See if this thing is just a really gimmicky, very strange thing that they decided to make over in Japan, or if this thing actually is a fish catching machine, because they have got very innovative over there. The bass in Japan are very hard to catch. They do have to make some pretty outlandish things to try to catch those fish, and maybe this is just their next creation. First cast with the AK Punch. Gosh, it feels weird. It's got so much weight to it for a soft plastic. So much weight. Even when you're sitting there hopping it on the bottom, like you just feel those dongles really moving. Oh, what the heck? When you reel this thing back in, this thing's got crazy action too. Those things are just going absolutely insane. It feels like a bluegill's like pecking at it or something. That's very interesting. I didn't think that those were gonna move that much when you're reeling it back in. Yeah, we're just gonna be flipping this around some docks, flipping it around some seawalls, maybe up in some trees and stuff, and then might even go hit some pads too. Oh, oh no, we missed it, dude. Second freaking flip with this thing. Right at the base of that little floating dock. Oh gosh. See, I am very worried about this plastic's durability. It's already like falling apart. It's so thin where those dongles kind of meet this main part of the plastic, and we already got a decent little hole going, but something just picked this up off this dock. I went to lift it and my bait was like 4 feet closer to me. Well, that's a good sign though. 2 flips, or maybe that was third cast, I actually don't even know. Second or third cast, we just got bit for sure though. Had it around for like a quarter of a second. Oh, got him on that AK Punch. First one, boys and girls. First one, boys and girls. Come up in here. Come up in here. She freaking clocked it. Not a bad one. Probably about a 14-inch bass. She's got that bait. She ate it, man. That's crazy. It works. We've only made probably 10 casts or so, just fished this tiny little area. We got one that we missed because I set the hook a little bit late, and then this thing came up and absolutely clocked it. Beautiful little bass to start the day out. All right, it does work. We're gonna keep flipping it around. It does get pretty tore up. This thing's got a massive hole ripping right up the center of it, which is not ideal, but first pass, gonna get her back in the water. Not a bad way to start it off, but we are gonna get some bigger ones, I know it. Let's fully assess the damage here. That thing did completely terrorize this bait. I don't even know if we're gonna be able to hook it backwards since it is so tore up, dude. Oh my gosh. These might be a one and done kind of one fish wonder bait. I'm gonna try to rig it backwards, see what it looks like popping through that massive hole. They're just too soft. They need to make these a little bit harder, I think. And that's not a joke. That's just the truth. We're gonna try to rig this in the back. It's so tore up. Maybe we could get one more bass out of this, but yeah, they need a little bit harder plastic for these things. We should be able to get hopefully one more. We probably can't skip this thing around too much. If I start skipping it, it's gonna completely destroy this plastic, but as long as I'm just pitching it around these seawalls, I think we could get away with it for at least another bass. We're on the board though. Feels good. Feels good to catch one on this goofy old thing. Yeah, see, look, this hook is already poked through. Oh man, I'm gonna like kind of bury it in the side really deep. Not ideal. Not ideal. I have to imagine when it falls, those things go pretty wild too. It has to look good when this thing's going down.
How are you?
Doing good. How are you? Catching, caught one. What do you think of this bait right here?
No, I would think it would get a mermaid.
It's Japanese.
Cool. Enjoy your day.
Thank you, you too. Got him, got him. Oh, it's a decent one too. Dude, this thing actually works. That's crazy. Come here, boy. Oh yeah, that's a good one right there. That's a freaking good one right there. She's over 2 pounds. She's got that AK punch right in the roof of the mouth. She freaking liked it. Yes, she did, dude. That's nuts. I can guarantee you, this is a bait that these fish have never seen ever in their life. I don't think anyone's dumb enough to buy these. And you know, they're not super duper easy to get. You can't just go to the Bass Pro and pick these things up, but good, solid fish right there. Absolutely smoked the AK punch, flipped it up next to that seawall. That is fish number 2 on that AK punch right there. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get a third one out of it. It is very tore up, but good solid one. We're gonna get her back in the water, try to catch some more. And you know, we're kind of getting bigger each and every fish. We caught a like 1 pounder, but now about a 2 pounder. And hopefully we're gonna catch a 3 pounder next. Let's see what we could do with this AK punch. Might have to try to get some opinions from more people if, you know, more people ask us how we're doing, what they think of our bait, but gonna get her back in the water there. Super duper windy out on the main lake, so we're kind of hiding back in this channel. And it seems like there's quite a few fish. So this is the damage done, if you guys can see. I'm gonna try to hook it right over here. Maybe be able to get one more fish out of this thing, but it's pretty tore up, and maybe get one more bass out of it. But yeah, this thing, since the plastic is so thin, right at the base of these super duper heavy plastic, you know, nodules, it does tend to tear pretty easily, it seems like. But 2 fish on a bait isn't completely terrible. If we could get a 3rd fish on that, that's, you know, kind of average, but we definitely are pushing it. If I was fishing like a tournament or even just kind of more seriously fishing, I probably would have switched baits by now, just because you can't really skip this around docks and stuff since it is so tore up. You got to really be careful with how you cast this thing right now. One thing that you do not have with this bait is the advantage of stealth. Every time you flip it in there, it's like somebody cannonballing off the dock. Just trying to be as quiet as I can, but it is really, really tough to get a good cast with this bait. Oh, dude, yep, I figured that was about to happen. We just got bit and we're officially castrated here. We've lost the dongles, they're gone. I was afraid that was gonna happen with whatever hooks. I think that was a fish, but I figured whatever I said hook on next, fish, not a fish, weed, whatever, those things were gonna be gone because it was so tore up, but we've got more of them, don't worry. Like I said, they did come in a nice 5-pack. We're throwing green pumpkin right here. I do have another pack. These ones are kind of like a green pumpkin blue fleck, but We're gonna stick with the OG green pumpkin for the time being. We lost a soldier right there. Lost an absolute soldier to, I think, a bass. I'm pretty sure. We're gonna try to flip back in there. It will be nice to have a nice fresh bait on here. Has not seen any carnage yet. I might even want to go with a smaller hook, because if my hook's up here, I feel like it's not gonna rip quite as easily. I mean, I already rigged this one on, so we're just gonna roll with it. But after this one's tore up, I might try to put a smaller hook on there and see if I could get a little bit more life out of these things. The only thing is, obviously, you know, if your hook is up here, if a bass bites the very tail end, you might not get that fish. But a 3-aught might be a little bit better, at least for durability's sake. Where was that bite at? I don't even know where I flipped. Somewhere over here. We're gonna see if we could get her to come back. Maybe we'll even have a little surprise left in her mouth from when she just bit those things off. There we go. Got him. Dude, they're just eating it on the drop. It's a decent one too. Not catching any small ones, no giants yet, but man, they are liking this thing. If this thing's tore up, I have an idea too. Got an idea to try to preserve this thing and try something a little bit different. If it's not too tore up, we'll still use it on this Texas rig, but thinking we might put this on the back of a jig because it'll be hooked in a little different spot. And I just kind of want to see what this looks like as a jig trailer too. I feel like with the heavier head of that jig, it's going to look pretty wild with those dongle action on the back, but another decent fish, probably just under 2 pounds, like a 15-incher and pretty stocky. I'm casting this thing out right on the edge of these break walls, and pretty much most of these fish are eating it on the drop. Or maybe I hop it like one time, but like I said, it's something that they've never seen before. So I think if I'm getting around fish, they're pretty much eating it because they're like, what the heck is this thing? No one's throwing anything like that. Yeah, it's not too tore up, but I am gonna try to throw this on the back of a jig. I just really wanna see what it looks like as a jig trailer and maybe give us an extra fish or two out of this plastic since it is pretty tore up. But let's put this on a jig, see what that looks like. We're gonna put this AK punch on here. See, that hook comes way up more so in that thicker part of the plastic, which is why I think we're gonna get some more life out of this bait. Probably could rig it backwards and whatnot too, and yeah, get a few more fish than that Texas rig that's really tearing up that thin part of the plastic. So let's see what that thing looks like down there. I think it's gonna be pretty sweet. All right, jig rigged up, ready to go. 3 fish on the boat and about to catch some more. God, it is absurdly heavy too. I don't know how heavy this plastic is. It feels like it adds like an extra half an ounce. Like both when I'm throwing the Texas rig and with this jig, it just feels ridiculous for basically just being like a little crawbait. It is much, much heavier than anything else I would typically throw, you know, flipping around shallow cover like this. It also doesn't look as good when I reel it in. Those things kind of go side to side and all crazy, where when it's on that Texas rig, it was like fluttering perfectly. Dude, I think that's a giant fish on a bed right there. Although we are gonna try to catch one on this jig. I can't pass this fish up. We're gonna try to put one back on the Texas rig. I just think it has a little bit better action on here. Let's see if we can get this bedding bass to eat it. Can't tell exactly how big it is. It looks like there's 2 on there. I don't know, you know, male and female, but they both look like they're 3 to 4 pounds. One might even be bigger than that. I can't get the best look at her. I'm trying to stay off of it a bit. Yeah, let's see if flipping this on a bed does something to them. What do bedding bass think about this AK punch? They look big. Somewhere between 3 to 5 pounds. I don't know exactly how big. It's a little bit deeper, and I can't see it that well because there's all sorts of grass and stuff in the way, but that looks like a good fish, and I keep seeing her move on this thing. It's gotta look so crazy on her bed. This is honestly is probably a pretty good bed bait because once again, they've never seen it before, and it just looks scary. It looks like a predator on their bed, I bet. It's got some big old nodules on there. They think they're gonna be in there stirring up and eating all their eggs. Oh my gosh, she's rolling on it, dude. She's gonna eat. Come on. She's gotta eat this thing. Oh, she freaking swung on it. Gosh, I wish we had like a bubblegum pink one of these. Bubblegum or a white one. It's very hard to see my bait. But I could see her pretty good. She's got really light sides, which helps a lot. The big one that's not locked in the bed, she's dark, but the one that's locked on there is really light, so it stands out. I could see when she flashes and flares at this thing. Oh no, no. She He clobbered it. Come on. Got him, got him, got him, got him. Yes, 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 yes. On the bed. It works on the bed. Come on, come on, come on. Don't get off. Don't get off. Don't get off. Don't get off. Come here, come here, come here, come here. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's about what I thought. Right in the roof of the mouth. Oh, and it popped right out too. Oh, good, like solid, chunky 3-pound fish. Probably a little bit over 3 pounds, honestly, on that AK punch. Man, we worked for that fish, honestly. I think if we had, oh, and she got the dongles. They're gone, but I think if we had a white or a pink one, I could have got her a little bit sooner because she was swiping at it a lot, but I wanted to make sure I didn't, foul hook her in the side or anything like that. So really made sure she got it, felt her freaking eat that thing, and good, solid fish on the AK punch, boys and girls. It works on the bed. Those dongles, they look crazy. They really do. Beautiful fish. Probably, like I said, a little bit over 3 pounds. We're going to get her back in the water. We're going to start flipping that jig around again, see if we could get one on the AK punch with that. But did want to see, since I saw, better than average fish, if we could get one on the bed on that AK punch. Put that Texas rig back up, but she's going to go back to her bed to do her thing. Oh my gosh, she's going to jump. She's going to jump. She's going to jump. Yes, sir. Go back down there. But like I said, there was another really big one hanging around, so probably getting ready to do their thing. Let them get active with it. Oh no, that's the first time that we've done that. When you hook one of your claws, well, happens with the crawfish a lot. Has not happened with this thing yet. That's something. Came back and hooked our little dongles. Got to be careful there. We really are trying to sack them up right now, but they don't seem to want to eat this jig. They really like just the Texas rig. But when we put it on the back of this jig, I think it's just a really big profile, especially with some of these fish kind of spawning. They don't really want to eat a big old ginormous jig with 2 giant dongle things hanging off the back end there. So I am going to try to get it at least one to bite this thing, just because these things are expensive too. I kind of want to get my money's worth, but does not seem to be the move on the back of a jig. It looks really bad in the water too. The action's not the same. It falls really slow, but not in a good way, just kind of funny looking. So I'm not a fan of this thing in the back of a jig, but we're gonna try to get at least one to bite it. I'm gonna try really, really hard. We're back by the dock where we got that first bite, that fish that we missed. I don't know if it was on a bed or maybe it was guarding or something too, but if she's still there, maybe she'll just eat this thing the second it touches the water. I can finally catch one on this jig. Ah, that's unfortunate. I was just hoping we were going to lift up and she was going to be on there. Dude, no way. I know you guys, you got to be kidding me. All right, that was like a 2.5 pounder. I should have just swung immediately. So I do a thing when I'm filming, guys. I click the camera off after I say something I want in the video. It just makes it easier for me to find those clips. So, just did that little dock thing there, was trying to catch that fish, click the camera off, and I still have my bait out there. Camera's off, I'm reeling it in, like a 2.5 pounder comes out of nowhere, crushes this jig, and I'm sitting there like, what am I supposed to do? I, wanted to get this on camera, so I flip it back on and wait to set the hook, and I'm like, this is gonna look staged, even if I did catch that fish, but she got off anyway. That was so stupid. Finally got bit on this thing. I burned that jig out, and she just came out and went, whoosh, and it was gone. Oh, I paused. I didn't know what to do. She had it in her mouth for like 5-6 seconds, turned the camera on, swung, and then she was gone. So, hey, that does give me some confidence. Finally got bit on this jig. I watched that fish. She was ferocious. I really wish I would have not had the camera off and just got that all. And if I would have swung immediately, I think we would have stuck her. Got him, finally, dude. Get in here, get up in here on the jig with the AK punch, boys and girls, finally. We fished that jig for far too long. We were literally getting a fish every like 10 to 15 minutes tops when we had this thing Texas rigged, and then put it on the back of the jig. I could skip it really well. There just doesn't seem to really be very many bass around the docks though. So I think on a day, if you're fishing docks and skipping this thing around, you could definitely catch a lot on this thing, but if they're not around the docks, it really serves no purpose. It does a lot better on the Texas rig. So gonna get her back in. My final impressions of this bait right here, number one, I cannot believe it's a real thing. Like, this is a little bit ridiculous that someone made this thing in the first place. But I will say, on the Texas rig, I would use this bait again. The only thing that would stop me from it is the price versus durability ratio. Like I said, this thing, it costs like 13 bucks or something for 5 baits, a couple bucks a pop, and you're lucky if you get 1-2 fish out of these things. So price to durability, probably wouldn't use them. If it was just strictly off the bait's action, what I think it could do on the water, it's actually a pretty good bait. It has some really unique action. I don't think anyone else is really throwing these things. I would use it again for that reason. Now, when you put it on the back of a jig, it looks kind of ridiculous. It just doesn't move right through the water. It falls super duper slow. I think I mentioned in the video, but not like in the right way. It's not like a tantalizing little fall. It just kind of like falls on its side extremely slow. They get a really good look at it and it doesn't look good. The thing with the wacky worm, when it falls slow and it's got that slight little quiver action to it, they're gonna bite that bait. If you have a jig that moves really, really fast, if it drops really fast, because that trailer has little to no resistance on it, those fish are gonna get the reaction strike. So you kind of had the worst of both worlds. It fell slow, but it looked bad. So on the back of a jig, I would never use this bait, regardless of durability or anything else too. Pretty fun. I'm glad that we caught some good ones on it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys enjoyed, please hit that subscribe button, that like button, and I will catch you guys in the next video.